Welcome back, everyone. This is Robert Coombs. I run the Visitor Information Center for the Prescott Chamber of Commerce. Sherry Heine is away today. You're listening to Talk of the Town on KQ&A. Matt is here beside me to introduce our first guest. Thank you, Matt, for being here.
Absolutely. And our first guest, she has come in, and just as her name says, she has come in strong at the chamber. Her name is Nicole Strong. She's part of Strong Wellness, and she's going to give you a breakdown of how you can take this new year and get the new you like we always do every year, but she can actually make that happen. So we want to introduce Nicole Strong.
Hey guys, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about Nicole Strong before we dive into the business part of it.
Oh, thanks for asking, Robert. Like you, I know you're into mountain biking, and I'm into fitness and athletics as well.
You've done some long races, I know.
Yeah,
foot races.
Yeah, lots of ultras. But I was in law enforcement for 35 years. Recently retired, and decided I wanted to focus on something else and what was my passion about. And one problem I could never solve is, despite doing ultra marathons, triathlons, all the things, I always fought my weight. And I had to crack the code. I had to figure it out. Like, what am I doing wrong as much as I'm working out? And so that led me down this road that ultimately today is Strong Wellness, which is personalized one-on-one coaching, no bots, no AI, no chat GPT. It's you and I having a conversation. And I don't so much redefine your relationship with food as I help you decide, what foods do you want to eat? Because you can eat all the foods you want. How do you eat those foods? And how do you still lose your weight? And how do you keep it off? And the secret is without the supplements and the pills and all the other things. How do you do it? Well, the way you do it is with the 6 inches between your ears. So we work on the mindset, the thinking. It's kind of the nickel version of what we're all about.
And everybody's different too, right?
Everybody's
body's a little bit different.
Yeah, it's funny you ask about that, because the way my mom and dad are built, I thought I was just kind of destined for a life of obesity. And that's not so much the case. And my mother's German. My family's German. We just came back from Germany. We eat all the German foods. And I wanted to learn, how can I enjoy these foods and still lose weight? Because you can go on the internet and learn, if you eat celery, you'll lose weight. Well, nobody wants that. That's not a sustainable lifestyle. So what I offer is, how can you eat the foods you want and keep the weight off?
Celery's good, but I like it with peanut butter.
I'm not saying celery's good. I tried to do the same thing. I was trying to find those spots where you can eat and keep your activity up. So then that way, but it came down to mindset of trying to do that. And sometimes I just drop out of that mindset at times. Do you have any tricks or anything to help out with that? Or
Yeah. So Matt, what's your biggest challenge? What makes you fall off the wagon when you're trying to lose weight?
Well, obviously just being so busy that I just was like, whatever, I'll just grab this.
Yeah.
Mine
that's
would
right.
Be boredom. If
That's
I
another
get bored,
yeah,
that's typically when I will eat a bag of chips.
So what surprises most people is that I teach all my clients, you're an emotional eater, and it kind of takes them back. Like, you don't even know me. How do you know why are you calling me that? Well, because we're all emotional eaters. Emotional eater isn't bad. We eat when we're bored. We eat when we're busy, when we're happy, when we're sad, when we're at a wedding, at a funeral. They're all emotions. Yeah. So the trick is, how can you eat foods and take just a second before you start eating and think, am I hungry? And if I'm not hungry, what do I really need in this moment? Is it the bag of chips? Is it celery with peanut butter? Maybe it's a rest. Maybe it's 5 minutes of fresh air. Maybe it's a nap. Maybe it's exercise. And we kind of teach you how to go through just that quick 15-second pause to decide, slow down. What do I really need? And how do I do this? And then move on from there.
Nice. Good point. That's one of the things I found is, like, just that pause. Am I bored? And like half the time that's what it is. And I'm like, walk away, but I don't have the willpower all the time.
That's okay. The good news is you don't need the willpower, because you learn that food doesn't solve for boredom. Food's going to give you a 30-second reprieve while you eat a bag of chips, and then you're bored again. And now you've piled some shame and judgment on top of it.
Yeah.
And the problem is, a lot of people have shame and judgment around their weight, and they don't want to talk about it. It's kind of the hidden thing nobody's talking about, is their weight. So I just sort of bring it out into the light and say, let's talk about your boredom. Let's talk about your busyness, and how can we solve for that without food? We'll just solve for that with something else.
Nice. So do you get into like helping like growth or be active, or is that those kind of the things that you help with and that solving, quote unquote?
Yeah. So what I start with, like if you were my client, Matt, I would say to you, what are your goals for the new year? And you might say, lose 20 pounds. Okay. What's your biggest challenge? I'm very busy. And then we really go through a breakdown of, okay, you're busy. Take me through your day. And you take me, I do this and this and this all day long. I'm grabbing Chick-fil-A for lunch and, a sandwich for dinner, and I have a beer and I go to bed. And then we just kind of reverse engineer it and plan that day ahead of time so that you think, all right, tomorrow's a busy day. I've got 4 interviews at the radio station and I've got to run over to the chamber and I've got to go to a PV. How can we build in and plan for that? Give you a little bit of structure to make the choices you want, but still the freedom to eat whatever foods you want. The difference is you're just going to stop at enough. Maybe you don't eat every single French fry, or you don't have Chick-fil-A every single day. And I'm not trying to bash them because they're my favorite
No,
restaurant.
I'm all.
No, I love Chick-fil-A. So don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I do like the spicy chicken sandwich.
But obviously, if you eat Chick-fil-A and Burger King and all of these different things all in one day, your body probably doesn't need that, and so you're taking in more than what you're actually burning.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So we just we talk about you, talk about your goals, decide what you want to do, and then how do we get through it. And we've got a lot of resources on my webpage, strongwellness.net. You'll see that there's a lot of resources for members only once you sign up. And the way that the program works is I coach you once a week for an hour, and we talk through the obstacles from the previous week. You get some homework assignments. You get access to unlock all those resources I have, which is daily planner, all the different techniques to help you, all the mindset tricks, all the strategies. And it's just you and I talking. Nobody else is in there. As I said, I'm not handing you recipes and telling you to go eat and count your calories. At Strong Wellness, we don't count calories. We don't count macros. We each need different foods. Robert's a mountain biker. Maybe he's burning more calories than you in a day. Or maybe on the weekend you're out with your daughter watching her play the trumpet. So maybe you're on the go and you have to accommodate for that. So we just work with everybody for what their needs are.
Nice. That works.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions there, Robert? Anything?
Do I? Nicole, does Strong Wellness set someone up with kind of an exercise program too? Or you go through the whole shebang, should I say, the whole deal?
Yeah, that's a
from
great
eating
question,
to-
Robert.
Is that part of the deal?
At Strong Wellness, we don't do an exercise program
Okay.
per se, but I am also a personal trainer.
Right.
So I'm happy to give free advice to my clients. I've got a client right now training for her first marathon. I just kind of teach her on the side for free how to run her marathon.
Yeah.
What's important for the clients to learn, and what we teach them at Strong Wellness, is that you will not lose weight working out. That's a common myth. Everybody thinks I just have to run more. I was running 100-mile races and I was still overweight. That it will help you maintain your weight, and it's so good for you in so many ways. Moving your body is tremendous for your heart, for your soul, to clear out the cobwebs, for everything, but not for weight loss. So what I do is I thread the needle with my clients and I teach them, you do need to move your body for a lot of reasons. You can't rely on it. You can't outrun a fork. You can't have 2 pizzas and walk around the block and think you've broken even. It doesn't work that way. So that's how we incorporate movement into the program at Strong Wellness.
I know when
And
I
outrun a fork. That
Yeah.
was huge.
Yeah.
I've never heard that. But that makes so much sense.
That one's for free for
Nice.
you, Matt.
No, I think that's cool. I know I keep pretty active. I do the Y thing all the time. I do yoga once a week and that kind of stuff. And you're right. It's not building my muscles or anything like that. But I don't think my weight's changed in years.
Then you're doing something right.
Maybe it changed. It hasn't changed, but my body changes. I can tell that as I get older, things are a little bit different. It's like, wait a minute, what's that?
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah, I
That
wish.
type of thing. But I pretty much eat what I want to eat, but I try to think about it.
What's your biggest obstacle to making a good food choice, Robert?
Mine would be sitting around. I like to move. I like to be active. If I'm sitting around for more than you probably noticed that, Matt. I get up out of my chair all the time. But if I don't, then I get bored. And then if there's a pack of cookies sitting in the office or in the lounge area, I'll grab it. And I won't just grab one.
That's right.
I'll grab 2 or 3.
One of the concepts that we talk about with strong wellness is being at home base
Yeah.
or above home base or below home base.
Oh, okay.
So like right now, we're all kind of in home base. We're just kind of normal. We're chatting, having a conversation. It's not a problem. Above home base, last night, let me give you an example. I hosted an annual dessert party at our house. All we have is dessert and wine. I mean, that is a minefield for a lot of people.
Right.
And I knew I would be above home base because I'm seeing 15 desserts that I've made from scratch, and I want.
Plus, you'll have specialized desserts.
That's right.
Yeah.
What I do is
Like eat them all.
I woke up yesterday morning, and I sat down and I thought, all right, how do I want to plan around this? This is my breakfast, healthy choice. This is my lunch, good choice. And now these are the desserts I want. And I looked at the menu and I thought, all right, there's 15. I would like to try a sliver of these 3. I want to taste them. I want to enjoy them. I don't want deprivation. I also don't want to eat my face off. And so those are the choices I made, and it worked really well. And I was above home base. Now, what you're talking about, Robert, like sitting around and kind of being bored and a little lazy or lethargic, that would be what we call below home base. And people eat in both of those states, above home base and below home base. Sometimes we just reach for food. You know, even coming in here today, you get a little nervous, right? I'm behind a microphone. I'm trying to get my business, Strong Wellness, out. What do I do? And so I'm above home base. So I have to think about the food choices I make all through the day just for this one event. And it's like any other muscle. You just develop the muscle, you get stronger at it, and you work at it. So one of the techniques we teach at Strong Wellness is how to keep yourself in home base, recognize when you're out of it, and accommodate.
Nice. That works.
I recognize that I'm out of it every now and then.
Yeah.
And I have to kind of push myself to get back into something. But once I get into it, I'm kind of stubborn that way. I can't let it go. So it's like, don't try a new class, don't at the Y or whatever like that, because I'm going to get stuck on it. And I will be there at that time.
I need to look for you because I go to the Y too. I'm
Yeah.
surprised our paths haven't crossed.
Yeah, I'm real early. I'm there like at 6 o'clock.
Okay, that's why our paths
So that could be why. Okay, well, we just have a minute left, I guess. So Nicole, could you share with our listeners your contact information, websites, and things
Yeah,
like that?
absolutely. It's strongwellness.net. My email is strongwellnessforlife, F-O-R, forlife@gmail.com. And you can reach me at either of those places, or you can find me through the Prescott Chamber of Commerce. They know exactly where to find me and how to get a hold of me.
Thank you, Nicole. And